This video was sponsored by Enhance, Elbilmek, ABRP Planner, Kempower and Bilkomponenter.
Yo, what's up? Today we're going to do a range test of Audi S6 e-tron Avant. This is station wagon of this sexy beast. Oh man, I'm so tired of testing SUVs. Finally, I get something that could possibly be my favorite. I really love the Q6 e-tron, but that's an SUV. This is a station wagon. Oh, the way cars should be built. Oh man. But this is the S6, so it's the performance version. I think there will be even a more beastie version, but it has some fat tires. Oh, look at the back. Oh man. Oh, I just came. Oh shit. But oh, okay. Oh, it's a turn off here. Shit. Camera mirrors. Well, it should be efficient, right? But I hate them. They are not good at all. But then fat tires, okay. Oh, look at the front. Oh, look, headlight washers. The Germans, they know how to build proper autos. Yeah. Oh, man, I've been so thirsty for proper cars. I've been in Thailand. Okay, we enjoy some nice food, but tested mostly just Chinese cars. Okay, except for Tesla. But now I'm back with Deutsche Auto. Okay, let's get inside. And here we have my little princess, Isabel. She's with me today because yeah, she has slight fever. So she was supposed to be at the kindergarten, but then they called us and said that she wasn't feeling that great. So we fed her with some food, some bread and some fruit, and now she passed out and it's time for her to sleep. Maybe she's still a little bit jet lagged, plus that kids, they get sick all the time. I hope I don't catch it. But yeah, I know that this chair will add roughly, or this, yeah, it's called a Norris T2. It's a forward-facing car seat. Ninja reaction from me. Daddy reaction. Okay, but this weighs roughly 15 kilograms. Isabel weighs 12 kilograms something, especially with clothes. And then I have some camera equipment in here. So that's why we count approximately 40 kilograms extra. Plus that I also weigh a couple of kilograms extra after Thailand. Oh, but it's so nice to be in a proper car with proper trip meter. Okay, I'm gonna use efficiency mode. You have the different modes here. Oh, sorry, there's some equipment here. See, you can go for efficiency, you can go for individual or something. But your efficiency will lower the suspension also. So yeah, let's buckle up, reset, and then we do the 120 test first. And okay, here when it comes to car scanner, I use the Q6 and yeah, the electric whatever profile, but it doesn't show anything except for voltage. And so okay, no need to use car scanner then. Okay, but before we start the test, we're gonna test now. Check weight. I mean, front axle 12. Whoa, 1240. Okay, but I have extra weight in the front, so that's 1200 then. The whole car 2520. Whoa, this is a heavy beast. Not from the east, from the west, from DDR. Okay, maybe not, but Deutschland. Oh, we're on the move. So today we have this wet, nice Salzschmutzfest weather. Well, at least it's not snowing anything. So here you can see Mjøsen. Okay, not that much wind. Yeah, just like I saw on the weather forecast. But then let me see, check here, we have to go at 123 on the speedo, plus 4 degrees Celsius. Wow, it's going to be colder in the following days. So that's good that we test today. So yeah, it's a bit weird starting position because further south there is some road works. So that's why we have to start from here. And then, oh, this is nice. When we start, when we navigate, we will see how many percent we will arrive with. 83%, and now we have 92%. And then here in efficiency mode, it shows you the consumption. If we switch to other modes, it will show you battery temperature. If I just temporarily switch now, let me see, yeah, here, I can see the battery temperature, at least here, since I don't have car scanner working. But I'm gonna switch all back to efficiency. Maybe not efficiency plus, that's gonna be like no heater or something. Okay, and then I just double check that we are going at 120 now. Well, it jumps a bit up and down, but I think 123 is good enough. But one thing I noticed is that the car doesn't go that smooth. You see, we have auto steer, but it tends to go slightly left and right. It's hard to show it on the camera, but I can feel it. I can feel the lateral forces, especially when we go on a curve. So this is a bit surprising because German cars in general, like I've tested on Audis or Mercedes or BMW, they are super smooth. That's why I love German cars. One of the reasons why. But here it feels like it's a bit Chinese, I would say. Oh, but the ride is just so nice. It has that balance between firmness and comfort. Okay, well, we are in efficiency mode. I think maybe it lowers the comfort level slightly because we are obviously not in comfort mode. Suspension goes a bit lower, but it's not as soft as an EQS. You know, it's well, it's actually a similar ride as a Tesla Model S. And this car also is expensive. It costs 1.2 million NOK, over 100,000 euros. So it better be good. But you can hear the slight humming noise. And I had the same experience with the Audi Q6 e-tron also. So I don't know what causes the humming noise, but I haven't heard this in the fat e-tron, the classic e-tron, or in other German cars like a Mercedes or a BMW. So but when I had winter tires on the Q6, then it was gone. So maybe if you put spacers on the rims, that could eliminate it, or use different tires, I'm not sure. But at least I would be bothered by this humming noise, because it shouldn't be like this in a German car that costs over 1 million NOK. But maybe you don't care about it. But we have, okay, Continental Viking Contact 7 tires now, so they are fairly quiet, but I feel like NOK and Hakkabrytte R5 EV would be even better. But yeah, look here. Okay, we have this also. We can kind of, now it's in the, okay, no, it just comes in. It's in the diffuse mode, and you can make it transparent there. And then you can go the other way, and then the rear becomes diffuse, and then you just, that's quite neat. Like it. We're back in the starting position. We use 243 watt-hour per kilometer, despite that it's plus 6.5 degrees Celsius. Wow. Well, we have fat tires and the road is wet, so let's do the 90 test then. Now we're going for the 90 test now, and yeah, we have header display here. Nice. But look, the ambient light, it goes around there, right? But then it ends here, right where the header display is. Very nice. I'm often annoyed by cars where the LED strip just blocks or kind of disturbs my night vision, but here seems like Audi have an eye for detail. But the mirror here seems to be a bit well, it seems like it lacks that color that you know, the real world is. See? So, and also it has a weird angle like this. If it was a mirror, it would be more like this, more towards me. So, yeah. Also, I get the wrong angle when I try to park, at least. I don't know, you can move this, like this, you know? But it's easier if I move my head and there's an optical mirror rather than moving here. It seems like I don't get the right angle that I want. Especially when I'm in a parking lot, I feel like I have less vision than I usually have with a conventional mirror. And you see, when we are cruising at 90 kilometers per hour, it uses only the rear motor. Okay, we forgot to check this at the 120 test, but from what I remember for the Q6, it should also be the same. So it tries to save energy by not using all-wheel drive all the time. And also here we can see the battery temperature, 16 degrees Celsius. Alright, let's test coasting. We have wet road, which is maybe not the best, but I think we have some slight tailwind. So let's see, I can turn off regen, but I think that's not good enough, so we have to put the car in neutral. But we can actually go straight from we can go straight from cruise control over to neutral. There'll be a little beep. There, quite
loud beep. Now we should be picking up speed. So let's see then. With 2.4 tons, how far can we go? Wait, are we picking up speed? Right, slightly. Oh, there. Okay. But also, yeah, it's 5 degrees Celsius over here, so maybe not the best drag situation. Oh, okay, some wet road that also slows down things. Yeah, we won't even be able to hit barely legal speeds here. Oh, okay. Well, just see then. It's just for fun to see how far it go. But you know, these wide tires probably also add some rolling resistance, so that we cannot coast that far. And yeah, the extra weight is of course an advantage. So we have more potential energy we need to release, but it seems like we're still rolling. Okay, it didn't pick up that much speed, but it can still roll quite far. Oh, wait, or maybe not. We're about to hit 90 kilometers per hour already. We haven't even hit the wall. Okay, here. The noise wall over here to the right. Yeah, that's actually Tesla service center right over there. There. Wow, really? That's it? Wait, wrong. I've been in Thailand for too long. There. Try to... Wait, no, there. I was using a gear stock to shift gear, to use cruise control, but that was in Seeker, yeah, that I borrowed recently. But okay, the best cars, they could roll past the noise wall here and to this big sign, roughly. Or was it the second sign? Yeah. Okay, but maybe we should try again this summer, or maybe not with the S6 but the A6. We are passing by Mjøstårnet now, and the consumption over here is 184 watt-hour per kilometer. Well, I mean, it's not that bad given the driving conditions today, and you know, this is a big family car. So I think in perspective, the Seeker X, which is a smaller car, but it was colder, consumed significantly more. So in that regard, I would consider this Audi to be efficient, and it is maybe possibly the most efficient Audi. No, wait, maybe Q4 is more efficient, or we are back at the starting position, and the consumption was 207 watt-hour per kilometer. That is a lot higher than earlier when we were at the Mjøstårnet. And then I noticed that, okay, I navigated to Circle K. You can click here. So I navigated to Circle K Minnesund, but then it shows up as HPC. Well, HPC charging. Well, do you know what HPC stands for? High power charging, or high power chargers. High power charger charging. But this is strange, because they did navigate and preheat. Because if you look here, earlier the battery was at 16 degrees Celsius. Now it is at 27 degrees. This is typical indication that it actually preheated. I didn't want to do that on purpose, because I specifically wrote Circle K Minnesund, not the high power charging. I know normally there would be. Okay, let me try something. If I delete this. No, there. Delete the thing, and then there's a 300 kilowatt charger there. So if I then can I just instead do this and then search for chargers. Okay, this is a bit confusing, because when you see this icon, I think, oh, that's just a gas station, where this is charger, right? I mean, why do we even have the charger symbol quite similar to the gas station symbol? But it seems like the car preheated. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So, okay, let's not navigate anywhere. I'm going to drive another loop, just a shorter loop, back and forth, and then we test and see if the consumption is high again. And now
Isabel woke up. Yo, what's up? Isabel. Yeah, she's been sleeping. She felt a bit tired, so she didn't sleep a lot, but now she's awake. Okay, hi there. Don't want to see you. I see. She loves this Cybex car seat because look at the leg room she has here. Okay, I put the seat all the way back, but yeah, okay, she barely touches this. But she has plenty of leg room. Okay, another test now. 155 watt-hour per kilometer. Ioniq, go home. It's still 6.5 degrees Celsius. Wow. And look at the battery temperature, 28 degrees Celsius. And I haven't navigated anywhere. Maybe it actually heats up the battery regardless what you do. Okay, whatever. We're going to do another loop now to Nyland. And I think I want to buy some buns for Isabel. Here we are. This is just a 20 kilometer, well, 20 times 2 kilometer loop, so 40 total. But I'll go to Nyland. I think Isabel has never tasted fresh buns. Verdens beste boller, Isabel. Har du lyst på boller? Huh? Nå skal det bolles! Okay, maybe not. Some of the Danes are like, whoa, fanden. Hva sier du? Okay, let's not do that. But yeah, let's get the buns. Oh, they want to sell 2.1 million buns in 2025, okay. Oh, there's an IDC bun. Oh, yeah. Okay, wait, maybe I should park the other way. Okay. Or actually just park like this. Okay, that's actually good enough. Right, is the bun. Do you like the buns? Oh, she's picking up all the raisins. No, you have to eat the bun, Isabel. Come on. It's nice and soft, but not that juicy as some of the new, the fresh buns. Isabel, hello, man. Rosin. Bolle med rosin. You just have to eat the bun. It's a good bun. Yeah. Espa buns. Come on. Put it in your mouth. Dissect all the raisins. Okay, there we go. Say good. All right, this time it was 180 watt-hour per kilometer. That is significantly lower than the previous run. And then also notice that the battery temperature had dropped slightly. So it seems like it scavenged heat. Unfortunately, I didn't have car scanner operational, so I couldn't see what was going on, but you can guess what's going on. So this is the result we will be using then. But now I had to top up a bit because I have to drive also this afternoon and evening. We are now at Nyland. It's nice to be home again. And this is what it's all about. It's about the charging. So you see here, we arrived with, oh shit, it's slippery. We arrived with, it was a bit over 30%. We're already at 36%. We're still taking over 200 kilowatt. This is 800 volt-ish architecture. It can charge fast like a boss. So based on test today, we can actually go 527 kilometers during winter. Really impressive. And then for the high-speed test, okay, 389. Now that's the thing, I don't know exactly if the consumption was 241 watt-hour per kilometer or not. Or if it would be maybe around 230 or 225. Because was it using energy to heat up, like a Porsche Taycan would do that. It would heat up the battery without you navigating or doing anything. It just does that on default to reach 30 degrees Celsius, 35 something, and then it stops. But it's still realistic test because you might start with a cold battery like I did, and then you drive somewhere and then the car just heats up the battery without you wanting it to do it, right? So yeah. And also I measure that we have 1% underreporting. That's why the numbers you see on the table is not exactly what we got on the display. But okay, anyway, this seems to be a good compromise between range, charging, and also space. And it has the driving dynamics like you want it, not a freaking SUV like everyone else wants. So yeah, anyway, I think that's gonna be for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.